Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about a very funny and romantic rom-com Korean drama that was released last year in 2024, and the name is Wedding Impossible, as you might have seen in the thumbnail and the video's name. I'm really happy to talk about this work because it was so funny. I had so much fun while watching it, and it was one of the dramas that I watched too quickly almost, and I was like, okay, what next? And we're gonna talk about this K-drama today, and before I start, I'm gonna ask you a really serious question, and the question is just like summarizing the drama's theme almost for me. That was the main question that came up to my head when I really watched this drama, like in the first 2 or 3 episodes. And the question is, how far would you go for your friend? How far would you go for your friend? Because we are gonna see Ajong going really far for her friend and trying her best. So let's see what she has done, or let's introduce the drama. Okay, and today, like always, I'm gonna start with the characters. We have 3 characters today. The first one is of course our main character, who is Na Ah-jung, and this character is played by Cho Jong-so, and this character is really happy, like bubbly as a person. We see her like enjoying life but being really tired of life as well, quite a bit. She is an actress. She's a really small actress, and she is struggling to make ends meet, so she's taking on some roles that you might not even think of, like not in a bad way, but acting like in real life in an exchange of money as well. So in the opening scene, we're gonna see what she has done for that explanation. And let's go with our second character, and the most important one in my eyes. Our second character is Lee Ji-han, who is played by... Oh, sorry. Our second character is Lee Do-han, who is played by Kim Do-han. And their names are similar, I know. They almost have the same name, but it's not written exactly the same. And this character is... he's a really calm guy. He is a calm guy, and he never wants to like fight with someone. He just wants to live his life, be free, and he is friends with Ajong, and he has a younger brother who is so passionate. I'm gonna talk about him as well, who is named Jihan, and he is friends with Ajong. And some of you may be wondering how they even became friends. So let me elaborate on that point. They became friends when they were really young, and they have been friends since their high school days. Yeah, their high school days. And their first meeting, I don't know if they were friends before this, but we see them meeting and being really close after one occurrence in their school someday. Well, now let me explain how that happened. So, there's a rumor going around in school like always, and the mean girls, the bully girls are talking about it really loudly in front of Jihan, in front of Dohan, who is the main character of this rumor. And he's just sitting 2 rows ahead of them, and they're in the back just trying to whisper, but they're really not whispering, they're talking really loudly, but they're making it appear like they don't know if someone else is listening to them. someone else is watching to them, they're just making fun of him, almost. And the rumor is someone else saw Tohan and another boy kissing in the classroom the other day. Tohan is a boy, and he is rumored to have a scandal with another boy, and we guess that he is gay. And Dohan can't even really say anything, because if he responds or even gives a big reaction, exaggerates his reaction, being really angry and nervous, they're gonna talk about it more and they're gonna make fun of him even more. So he's just trying to keep really quiet and not say anything, but he's aware of the situation. He's trying not to respond. He's just clenching his fist and trying to endure this situation. Trying to be like, I'm just doing something on my notebook. I'm not even listening to them. They're just talking nonsense. And because in these kind of situations, you just have two choices. One, keep quiet, don't say anything, and after a while, you just wait for the rumors to go down. And the second one is you just respond to that, and because you respond to that rumor, and while you were responding to them, you were just really big on your reaction, exaggerating on your reaction. They now think that it's true. So he just chose to be wiseful and chose the first option, and he's just trying to keep quiet. And while he's struggling to endure this bullying, Ajong came up from nowhere and she's like, what are you guys talking about? That's not even possible. And the bullies respond with, what do you think we're talking about? And how do you know that's not possible? Can you make some explanations? And Ajong is like, I know that's not possible because we're dating. He's my boyfriend and I'm his girlfriend. So whatever you're saying is not true at all because we're dating. And the bully girls are really shocked about this situation and they can't come up with any questions or answers to this, so they just leave. And the rumors successfully died down. So now we are seeing Tohan and his reaction to Ajong. And Ajong after school meets up with Tohan and just says, I'm gonna be a really big actress in the next few years, so if you just support me and say good things about me in the comments of my videos or my dramas, I would just appreciate it, and you don't have to do anything for me, that's it. And Dohan is feeling really free and he's not feeling under pressure anymore, and he can just live his life at his school. And all through high school, Ajong supports Dohan and Dohan supports Ajong, and they just get through these hardships together and they're really close friends. And now in 2024, it's been a while, they're in their late 20s and they're friends as well today as well, but they're not as close. They're not as close because Dohan lives abroad for some time and comes back this year. It has been 5 years since he has been gone, and he's coming back this year, 2024, when this drama is released, of course. And now we're just gonna end this story time here, and we're gonna go on to the third character. Our third character is Lee Ji-han, who is played by Moon Sang-min, and he is Dohan's little brother. And there's only like a few words when I think of him because he's just a really passionate person, a really hardworking person, and he does what he can to be really supportive of his brother to become the top of their company. And you might be wondering, what company? What company are we talking about? Because when Ajong and Dohan are friends, we don't really see Dohan as a rich person. They're just in the same level as like economic situations. So we're thinking, was he rich all along? Dohan, is he rich? And Ajong knows nothing about this, by the way. And Ijihan, for his brother to be at the top and to support him, he really starts from the bottom and works his way up from there. And his grandfather is shocked by his responding to things because he wasn't waiting for him to do something like this, or he was thinking maybe he has some ego and can't really start from the bottom. But that's not the case. Without his grandfather saying anything to Jihan, Jihan just starts working at the lowest position in this company. So when I mean passionate, I mean it this way. So when it comes to like Dohan and Jihan's family situations and the company situations, what is going on, I'm gonna go further to explain this. So Dohan and Jihan are brothers, but one of their parents, I'm not gonna say who, one of their parents had an affair, and after that affair, that affair's children. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they had a family. One of their parents had a family with someone else. They had 2 children, and then they went away and to be with their childhood crush, the one that they fell in love with when they were younger. And when they ran away, they had an affair, and they had Jihan and Dohan. Now, Jihan is not expecting himself to be at the top position because of 2 reasons. First of all, their family situation, like I explained, and it is really complicated. They have 2 older step siblings. One is a brother, one is a sister, and they just hate Jihan and Dohan. And they just wish the worst for them. And you wouldn't wish their worst for your worst enemy. So do you understand the extent that they hate these children? Just children. And they have an age gap. So their other siblings, Jihan and Dohan's other older siblings, are really older than them, and they're still acting this way. I don't understand. And I just want to say something. They had no choice in this situation. They did not choose to be in this family. They did not choose to be born to this family at all. They just have done nothing wrong as children. So first reason is the family situation is a bit complicated, and the second reason is Jihan is blaming himself for their parents' death. And meanwhile, he's not the only one thinking about this being him being at fault, because their grandfather also thinks the same. So their grandfather thinks Jihan is at fault for their parents' death, and we don't see much on the first 2 or 3 episodes how they were dead, but we just know Jihan is really scared of the rainy weathers. He can't really go out when it's rainy, and he's just not feeling well. He just has panic attacks when there is rain involved in some kind of scene. So, and we also have a scene with like 2 cars crashing into each other, Jihan looking at them from a distance, and it's raining. We just know this scene, and we are thinking it was a car crash, it was a rainy day, Jihan is traumatized, and he blames himself for this, and their grandfather blames him for this as well. So let's start with the drama. I'm done with the characters, so in this section I'm gonna talk about how the drama opened, and I'm gonna introduce you to the scenes and the first few episodes almost. Now, in the first episode, in the first scene, we see a wedding. And we are thinking like, what wedding? So in the first episode of dramas, we are really confused as the viewers because we have just seen the teaser and we're thinking from the name itself, Wedding Impossible. So is the main character getting married already in the first scene? But no, that's not the case. The bride and groom are not the main characters. We just see them happily waving at Ajong, who is singing to them. So, at weddings, it is normal for Korean weddings to have their friends come up and do a performance. It's like the norm for them. If they're real close with the bride or the groom, they just have a performance or they sing, just congratulating on this wedding. So we see Ajong, who is singing to bride and the groom facing them, and she's singing like a really happy song, and we're thinking, she's like a performer or friends with someone, the bride or the groom. And after the singing ends, we see Ajong wrapping up her speech with like, now for my best friend, the bride. So we now know the bride is her best friend, and we're thinking, oh, they're best friends. So she's singing for the bride to congratulate them. That's like a normal thing, and we're really happy because it's an emotional day. And after she says that for the bride and groom, I wanted to sing today to congratulate them, and I want to say something before I leave the stage. For my bride friend, I have been her best friend all along this time, since when we were like younger. It's been a few years, and now I'm leaving my position for the groom himself. So I'm leaving this position to himself. She's saying like, now it's your turn to be her best friend. I'm leaving this position. We are not gonna be able to meet as much. You are just her best friend. Please take care of her really well. And Bright was nervous because of the speech, because she did not know what her friend was gonna say. So after this speech, she feels relieved that she said something like this because it was emotional. She did not said anything stupid. So we're happy. And after Ajong leaves the stage, it cuts to the scene and we see Ajong and the bride just talking in a staircase. And we're thinking, what are they talking about in the staircase? Is she gonna run away? Is Ajong gonna help her? I'm just saying the confusion I had when I was watching these things, because some of the viewers as well might have like felt these emotions themselves. So they're talking about some kind of price, and the bride is saying, we have came to an agreement about this price, right? I'm gonna pay this price for you, right? And Ajong is like, yes, you just need to pay the amount that we agreed upon, and that's it. I'm not gonna be able to see you again, not gonna come up to you again. You just gonna live your life. Have a good day. And the bride pays the price, and we just learn Ajong is an actress, right? And when I was explaining the characters, the first one was Ajong as well. And I said she was taking on roles that was in real life. What I meant by that is she was hired as the bride's friends to be acting like her friend. Because the bride doesn't really have any friends that she's close to. She cannot trust anyone in this wedding to sing for her or do a performance, and she doesn't really trust anyone, doesn't really have any friends as well. So she came up with a solution of hiring someone to act like her friend. So Ajung was hired to act like her friend, and for that she got some money. She is really a small actress and she's trying so hard to make ends meet, and she's still living with her family as well. She has a sister who got married, had a child, and their parents, they are all just living together in a really big family because their economic situation is not really allowing them to live by themselves, but together they are really happy, I may say, because I've seen some scenes. They're happy, they're getting along really well, so we're happy about this situation. And after she gets paid, Ajong gets paid by the bride, she leaves. And the scene cuts and we see another thing. The groom. The groom we have just seen in the wedding. It's the same groom, and we see Jihan. And we're thinking, what is he doing here? Like, what is supposed to happen? Are they friends as well? Was he hired as well? And Jihan is saying like some things to the groom's father, and we learn the groom's father has a land, a really big land, where they're supposed to do some construction there. So Jihan is trying to secure that land, get it in an exchange of some money, and the groom's father is not really accepting their proposal. So Jihan is going everywhere to be like a good businessman. He's sharp. He's trying to do what he can for securing this land, because as I said, he started from the bottom in this company. So for him to do a thing this big, he's gonna get recognized and maybe have a bigger position, a higher position. So we just learned that he is there for securing the land. And the groom is like, Dad, you have seen Jihan for like months. He has been helping us when we were working on the land itself, when we were like doing anything else. He was always there for us. So please, you just need to like agree for this proposal. He has done so much for you to agree. And the groom's father is thinking for some seconds and he's like, okay, you have done for us so much, so I'm gonna leave my sign in the proposal. And he finally signs the proposal. When I say proposal, I say like an agreement they have agreed upon it, and it's like a few pages long, and in the end you just leave your sign, meaning you are agreeing. When I say proposal, like proposal of the land to be owned by the company. So he gets his sign. He has been working hard on for months and he's happy, but he's not gonna see them anymore because he has done what he could. So he just doesn't care about them anymore, so he just leaves. And when he's leaving, Ajong is leaving as well. They're not seeing each other, but Ajong is just like looking at her phone because she gets the news that Dohan is in Korea now. He's gonna land pretty soon in Seoul. And Jihan is looking at the contract and he's really happy because he worked so hard on this project and he's finally gonna be able to get recognition and get a higher position. He's so excited and he's just like looking at the contract and they bump into each other like boom. And of course Ajong has some pages in her hand as well because she's an actress, she has scripts, and Jihan has a contract in his hands as well. So when they bump, the paper just like clash into each other and they get like really messy. And they say to each other angrily like, what are you doing? Why are you not looking on the road? Why are you not seeing me? They just in a fight almost. And Ajong is like, my mistake, sorry. And when she's saying that like in a really bossy way, she just sees the contract, smooches on it and the back of this paper, and just, here you go, my surprise, my gift for you. I hope to never see you again. Bye. And after that, their first meeting was them bumping to each other in a wedding hall when they were leaving the wedding. So this is a very intense and interesting first meeting. So now that they have met and Ajong got news from someone that Dohan is landing to Korea today, she is really excited to meet him. So when she was at the wedding, she was wearing a really fancy suit with like a skirt and a really good looking white outfit, right? And now when she learns this news, she's just like, I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna be acting like I haven't come from a wedding and I was busy. So we see Ajong get into a very luxury car and we're thinking, wasn't he poor before? Trying to make ends meet? Are we wrong about that? And he has a fancy outfit on with a luxury car. She's going to the airport to welcome Dohan to Seoul again after 5 years. It has been 5 years. They have been on and off about their friendship, but of course they're really close with each other. So she should like welcome him and take him to his home because he doesn't have a car. He's just landing. So we see Ajong just in the airport waiting for her friend who is Dohan, and when Dohan comes from the door in the airport and Ajong is like, here, I'm here, Dohan, I'm here. And after this they just are really glad to meet each other. They hug and they're just seeing how each other is doing because it's been 5 years. In 5 years a person can change a lot. And Dohan is seeing Ajong's outfit, her car, because for her to take him to his home, they get in the car and he's looking around, he's seeing a really fancy car, a really fancy outfit. And when he's looking around, he sees a script at the back seat of her car as well. And he's like, she must be busy being an actress and all that. And Ajong is like, I miss you, it's been so long, let's go, I will take you home. And Dohan is like, you didn't need to take care of me for something like this. I could just take a taxi. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for your care, but you didn't really have to do this. And Ajong was like, no, it's not a matter really. I'll just take you home and go to work, to the set. And after Dohan sees these little details, he's saying to Ajong in the car like, you must be really successful now because there's a script there. When can I do this drama in the television, in the TV? I'm really excited about your work as well. And I don't know what you're up to because we have not really been talking in these 5 years. And Ajong is like, it's nothing really. I've just been an actress. I'm just doing my job. I'm really busy these days, but I wanted to make some time for you because we're real close. We're friends. Friends are here to do like these things, of course. when they arrive at Dohan's house, she's just like, Ajong is thinking he must be in a bad economic situation for him to come back, because it's been 5 years. Why is he coming back? And when he drops off Dohun at his house, she's thinking like, he might not have any money, but he might be struggling to tell me if he does or does not have any money. So I'm just gonna be low-key helpful without doing any scene. And when she drops Dohan off, Ajung takes some cash and says, here you go. You might not have anything, but this is my gift for you. So go and eat something nice. And I'm really happy to see you in here, Korea as well. Let's meet again sometime. And after this, we just see Ajong racing to the set because she's really late for her acting thing. They're shooting a drama and her scene is coming up and she's getting really late. So she drops Dohan off, goes to the set, and she's like, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna do whatever I can. And the director is like, no need. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm here, I can do it. So she does her job, and then we see the drama they're shooting in the drama. They have a scene with a horse because it's a pastime drama. Like it's a, like, what was that called? Historical drama. It's an historical drama, so they ride horses, and the main character of this drama they're shooting is supposed to ride the horse, but the other day she almost fell off the horse. Now she's traumatized, she's refusing to do the scene, she's refusing to go up to the horse and ride it, and Ajong is hearing all these commotions, and she's like, I can do it. I learned how to ride a horse when I was taking lessons for something else. I can do it if you want me to. And the directors are like really shocked because you don't expect it from anybody, because they're just an extra in this drama and you don't expect them to be to them to have learned how to ride a horse. And they're shocked and they're like, are you sure? Are you sure that you can do this? If you really trust yourself, you can try, but if you can't, you can just tell us. And Ajong rides the horse really gracefully and really good, but the main character of this drama is just like really being bitchy about it. So she's like, that doesn't look like me, do it again. And she does it again, and she's like, we see her face in this second and this millisecond, so I don't like this, do it again. And the director is saying nothing, he's really pleased about this scene, and the main character is just being really childish, just making her ride the horse a few more times because she just has an ego. So after a few scenes that Ajong is riding the horse, she just falls down. And before this scene, before she falls off the horse, we see Jihan. Because Dohan came back from the foreign country, right? He is now in Seoul, and immediately their grandfather is like, we need to have a meeting. In that meeting, he just gathers every sibling. The two step siblings who are older than Jihan and Dohan, and Jihan and Dohan are there as well. We see 5 people in front of their grandfather, who is the chairman, because there are 4 siblings, but the oldest brother, their step oldest brother, has a wife. So she is there for everything. with her husband involved. So they're just together around everywhere, anytime, because they're married. So we see 5 people, but she's not one of the siblings. She's just the wife to the oldest brother. And the grandfather is like really serious, doing a conversation. He says like, it is time, guys. It is time. I'm leaving this company to Dohan, and Dohan, you need to get prepared. You need to learn some things before you take up on this top position of this company's the biggest position. Like, I'm gonna leave and you're gonna be the main, like, chairman. Dohan is not really pleased with this situation because he doesn't like this position. He is an artist. When he was in like in a foreign country, he was an artist. He was doing art stuff, gaining money from them, and he is really famous now. And Dohan is like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And their grandfather doesn't really affect the grandfather, and he keeps talking, and he says that, and for you to take that position, I need you to get married to dot dot this exact person that I chose for you. And Dohan is like, you chose who I marry, and you just decide everything for me. I don't have a choice, right? I refuse. I refuse to take up on this position, and I refuse to get married to that person. And Jihan is like being really shocked about these things because he was not waiting for his answer to be like that. He was thinking, I was getting prepared for him to do this, so he might be excited as well about this position. But Dohan is really not about all that, because Dohan just wants to be an artist, doesn't want to do anything really grand, doesn't want to be... If he had a choice, he wouldn't even choose to be rich, I think, my personal opinion. And Jihan is shocked about this, and their grandfather is like, what do you mean no? You have to get married, and you have to take up this position. There's no one else who can do it. Because they're older siblings. I'm gonna elaborate on that thing, because they have 2 older step siblings. Why is he not choosing them? They have so many controversies, so many scandals, drunk driving, or beating someone up, or being involved in a situation who like really would not be accepted to be the main chairman of their company, because no one would accept them. So the grandfather is thinking, okay, 2 older ones from the other marriage my child had, okay, they're not, in my eyes, in a position to be like a big thing anymore. I just expect nothing else from them. So they're just crossed off, and he's looking at Jihan and Dohan, and he's like, I blame Jihan for their parents' death too, so I only have one choice, Dohan. And Dohan, you need to be the one to take up my position. We have no other choice. And Dohan is refusing to do it? No, he's gonna do it. Watch it. And now we see Dohan and Jihan having a discussion about this meeting, this gathering, and Jihan is saying, why did you respond like that? I'm trying so hard for you to get married. I'm setting you up on these blind dates. If you're not happy with the person, the woman that he have chose for you, you can get married to someone else. I will try my best. I'm setting up you on blind dates, but you don't even go on them. You don't even try. Why are you refusing to do this? It was my biggest dream for you to do this. And Dohan is like, it was your dream though. I never wanted to be involved in our company or do anything about this. I don't want to get married. And Jihan is like, why do you not want to get married? And Dohan is like, I just don't want to get married. I think I'm young, and he's in his late 20s, and he is young. I don't know if he has to get married at this age or he doesn't have to, but everything he's saying, it just makes sense. I don't want to get married. The person my grandfather chose for me, I just don't like the person. I don't love anyone else, but I just don't want to. And Jihan is like really putting pressure on his older brother, and Dohan just like a bomb, he just like explodes in the end, and he's like, yeah, I love someone, I'm in love with someone, and I can get married because of this exact reason. And Jihan is like, who is it, huh? Who is it? Jihan is acting like his wife or something, and Jihan is really mad about this. So Jihan is like, who is it, huh? Who did you fall in love with? Is it this person? He just brings out his phone and shows a photo. And in this photo, we see Ajong and Dohan hugging at the airport. Because you remember that they hugged at the airport because they missed each other. It's been a while. And Jihan is like, is it this person? Is this why you're refusing to get married? And Dohan looks at the picture and he's like, huh. He comes up with the idea that he's gonna act like he's in love with Ajong because nobody knows that he is gay, so he doesn't want to reveal it as well. Makes sense. So after this photo, he's like, yes, that person, my love. After this, Jihan is really angry and goes to meet with Ajong himself. And as you may have seen in dramas, you know, the mother-in-law goes to the bride and says, how much? How much do you need to leave my son? I will give you anything you want. And they're CHAEBOL as well, like they're really stinking rich. So we're thinking, is he gonna do the same? Because Jihan is acting like a really jealous wife or a mother-in-law for his older brother, and this situation seems awkward and not normal by everybody else as well. But they're just two siblings, they just have each other, they don't have their parents, nobody loves them, they have to love each other as siblings, so they have to rely on each other. So we understand to some extent, but this is really over the top, no? And Jihan goes to meet Ajong at her set because she's filming a drama, like I've said. Ajong comes and there's a cafe there, so they meet up there. And Jihan is like, hello, can I meet Ajong? Where is Ajong? Can I learn where she is? And Ajong comes to the cafe and they're talking. And Ajong knows nothing, by the way, because Dohan has said nothing to her about this situation. Jihan is like seeing her, and they realize they bumped into each other the other day at the wedding hall. They now recognize each other from that day, and they're like looking at each other like, you again? Why am I meeting you again? And they're really shocked because they did not expect this connection to each other. So they're talking, right, in the cafe, and Jihan is like, can you leave my brother alone? He just can't get married to you. I know you're dating for some time, because Dohan has said they have been dating for a time as well. So Jihan is now like, I know you guys have been dating for some time, but you guys need to break up. He has to get married. And Ajong is like, you have to keep in mind she's an actress. And she's like, okay, he needs me, my friend Dohan needs me, I'm gonna help him. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna support him for now. So Ajong is like, I'm in love with him. I can't break up with him. No, that's not even possible. How can you expect me to get like broken up with my boyfriend over nothing because he's forced to get married to someone else? I'm not accepting this, so no. And Jan is like, I have been working really hard for my brother to reach this position in his life, so this is really important for me and my brother. He needs to get married. If he gets married, he's gonna have some really positive outcomes of this marriage. And Ajong is like, no, sorry. And you're begging me to break up with my boyfriend, who is Dohan, which is not the case. They're not dating, but she's like, you're begging me to do this, but you're not gonna even offer me some money? Because in dramas, I see the mother-in-law come up to the price and they say, how much do you need? How much do you need to leave my son, or something like that? But you didn't even offer me some money. And Jihan is like, oh, you want some money? I can offer you some money. How much do you want? And Ajong is not really believing this because, like I said, Ajong knows nothing about Dohan's and Jihan's economic situation because Dohan really said nothing about it and lived like everybody else. When Ajong needed some help, when she had a part-time job, she was carrying like really heavy boxes, she called up Dohan and said, when they were younger, when I'm explaining this story time, when they were younger, before Dohan leave to go abroad for 5 years, she's like, Dohan, I need your help. Can you come help me real quick? I need to carry these boxes. I can't do it myself. Do you want to gain some money from this as well? Okay, come, let's work together. And for this part-time job, they work together and Dohan works really hard and gets the money as well. So what I mean is, Ajong never expected anything like this, to be rich. And now as well, she is not even like sure if the money Jihan offers is like gonna be the real money, or he's just saying it's like in a speech or in like, what I mean is, the money that Jihan is gonna offer might not be even real money, so he's just spewing some nonsense about it. So Ajong leaves the cafe and Jihan is like, what just happened? I did not expect my brother to date such a person who is Ajong. And Jihan does not leave the set just yet. He bothers her for quite some time as well, and as a result, he gets kicked out because Ajong says, oh, help me, he's my stalker, he has been stalking me for some time. Can you get rid of him for me? He's not allowed to be here. I don't know him. Help me. And after this, he gets kicked out, but he doesn't leave. He's at the door of this set, shooting set. So when I said Ajong fell, it was after this moment. So the main character of the drama they were shooting said that they must shoot this again because her face was showing it. Her back was not like hers, or she wasn't graceful enough. So they were just doing the scene over and over again, and the horse is not operating well because they have this exact scene for many times, and maybe I don't know how horses work, or I don't know, the horse was just not feeling happy because he was getting worked over and over again. He might be because Ajong was angry because of this reason as well. She was angry that she had to do this scene over and over again. And after filming some scenes, she falls from the horse. So when she falls, they call an ambulance and Jihan is there for her. Ajang doesn't know, but Jihan goes with her to the hospital. He takes care of her, and after this accident, she just gets fired from her job. She doesn't have a job anymore, and they're saying, when you were working at extra, you had some trouble, you were getting late, we didn't like you before, and now you're injured. You just like injured your leg now as well, so we can't work with you, sorry. So she gets fired, and on top of that, when she is in the hospital just lying down, she opens her eyes and sees Jihan, and she's like, wow, you are here. And when they leave the hospital, because Ajong was not expecting Jihan to be this persistent and really, when we see this scene, we just saw him at the first scene trying to secure a land for the company. We just see the same thing, the passion in his eyes. He's just trying to do anything he can to make her break up with her older brother, with his older brother. So he is not leaving her alone. He's just pestering her. And Ajong is like, thank you for what you've done, but now I'm leaving, bye. But it is now so late, like it is nighttime, so she cannot catch a bus or a train. So when she sees Jihan, that Jihan came with his car, she's like, can you drop me off? And after Jihan drops her off, I think they feel a little closer because Ajong doesn't know anything herself as well, and Jihan is trying to work hard, trying to make them break up. But Jihan is working this hard because he doesn't know that his older brother is gay, and Ajong is working really hard because, like their high school days, she just wants to protect and support her friend because he is supposed to be forced into a marriage, so she's trying her best as well. But after some scenes, we see them get closer and closer to each other. So if you are curious about what's next in this drama, you can go watch it. And that's it for today. I just wanted to introduce you to this drama because there are really amazing actors and actresses, and the plot is fun. It's a romantic comedy. If you enjoy this genre, you can go watch it. And that's it for today. I will see you next week. Thank you guys for watching again. Bye.